Hey, this is Scott, and welcome to another Saturday service. Keeping that commitment of showing up on a Saturday morning after I've meditated to sort of wax a little bit, to have a cuppa, maybe spin a thread of words for you this week. I did want to introduce myself a little bit more, as I haven't really done that, and I don't know who you are or who's watching, although I have had new subscribers, so thank you for that. I am an artist, I am a healer, I am a writer, I am a witch. I live in Los Angeles, California. I have a very strong practice here. I do readings and healings in person and online. I speak and lead rituals at a local UU church. I am a minister in the Temple of Witchcraft, meaning I have gone through the mystery school and the seminary, the 5 levels of what we do. A member of the Society of the Temple, which is an internal continuation of learning, a deepening of our community and magic. And I'm also a lead minister of the Aries Ministry in the Temple of Witchcraft. So I run one of the 12 ministries in the temple. These videos are not the Temple of Witchcraft or associated with the Temple of Witchcraft. These are my personal things, but I did want to give you a little insight into who I am and what I do. I interface with a lot of different community in a lot of different ways. And I've been doing this work for a long time. I was introduced to witchcraft when I was very young. I like to say, I knew I was a witch when I saw 2 things, and I was very tiny when I saw them. Bewitched and Dora, She Got Me, and the movie Carrie by Stephen King. I had a lot of strong identification with those characters. In 1986, we got a squirrel out the window. In 1986, I found my first witchcraft book. I think I was in middle school. I think that was probably 7th grade or 8th grade. And that started a journey. I had a great friend, Kat, in high school. Kat is still here. Hi, Kat, if you're watching. And we did a lot of practices and dream work and all kinds of fun things together. I've ran a couple of metaphysical shops, one quite by accident because the owner sort of went afoul of her own health, and the other with a friend who decided to open up a metaphysical place. I've been around. Not just around the world and traveled places, but with a lot of different groups of people and experienced a lot of different things. So that's me. That's Scott. I live here. I'm also queer. I'm a gay man living in Los Angeles. So happy Pride, right? Like that's all part of my message of where I'm coming from in these things. So today I sort of wanted to talk about I wanted to continue to talk about some of the things that I've been speaking of on Saturdays, but the most important message that I really want to say today is listen to your body and pay attention to your environment. Those are the 2 strongest messages that I have. I shuffled some cards today. I have a story for you. I'm drawing from the Magickal Botanical Oracle. This is by Penczak and Maxine. I've had this for quite some time, and it's been out for many months, and it's a really great deck of oracles based on flowers and plants. And as I was getting prepared to speak today, I like to pull my cards. I pulled out Rose, and this reminds us of love and heart and beauty. And when I say beauty, I don't mean just physical beauty routines like your skin, hair, and nails. I also mean the art of beauty, which is, I think, a part of life, the beautification of our lives, the choice, choosing what is the beauty, however dark and glamorous you may be in this moment, and how do you act from that place? Because it's very easy to not right now. So I've been following my own advice over the last couple of weeks. I've been getting more nature. I have been choosing my subscriptions wisely, not necessarily being so much on social media, although I've had a little bit of an uptick of coming back to that as I've started to engage work. A lot of my work, you know, the medium to which a lot of people see that is through social media. So I've been posting there. But choosing my subscriptions wisely. And when I say subscriptions, I don't mean like physical subscriptions. I don't mean Time Magazine or Vogue, or or a channel. I'm not talking about physical subscriptions. I was reminded last week that there is what I mean, and there's interpretation of what I mean. There's what you mean, and there's my interpretation of what you mean. And so it was an opportunity this week for me to be clear. When I say subscriptions, I'm saying what you are choosing to walk along with on your adventure. And that's a lot of different things. So that's my story this week. I went to my acupuncture appointment this week. Deer Song Acupuncture in Pasadena is amazing. I've been working with them in helping to establish just really incredible health changes in my lives, which, life-changing for myself. The direction that I received about the choices I need to make has been really helpful to me. And as I was preparing to go up to my appointment, it's on the 5th floor. I was waiting at the door. I always stand back in the elevator because you never know who's going to come out. There's only one elevator there. Reading my emails as I was getting into there. Had a client coming through, wanted to hit that before I got into my appointment and relax, get it off my plate. And the door opened, ding, and someone walked out and walked by me and yelled at me. Chose that moment not only to grandly wave their arms around within the space that they were, and tell me to move out of their way with lots of explicatives and go on and on and on. And at that moment, I had the choice. I could choose my subscription. And my subscription could have been anger. My subscription could have been, words as darts. My subscription could have been a lot of things in that moment. And I was shocked because I was not in his way or anything. And I got into the elevator and I went up and I went into my appointment. They were like, "How are you?" And I was like, "What? This just happened." And so we meditated in that minute. We did a 3-minute meditation before the appointment even started, just breathing. And the thing that I realized is that that person, that man who came out of that elevator, was not subscribed to the things that were really doing him justice or bringing him health and happiness. He was not subscribed to beauty. He was subscribed to the things that he didn't like, to the anger, to the upset, and probably, valid reasons. I don't know. But I had a choice in that moment to really stick to his energy and be involved in his crisis, right? And all of his emotions that he was feeling, because he was very emotional. I had the choice to be involved in that, or I had the choice to do something else. And the meditation was really helpful to me, just to breathe for 3 minutes and to really perceive him through my breath and go, yeah, that's not me. It's not me at all. And actually, what he probably needed was a smile. What he probably needed is space. What he probably needed was someone to listen to him. So I did that with my meditation. With my guide at Deer Song Acupuncture, sort of walking with me in that moment. And I pulled a card because this story came up as I was doing that, but I'm going to get to that card in a minute. I really felt like, and was reminded at Deer Song, that we have the opportunity in all these moments, not only to just choose our subscriptions, but to, in doing that, change the frequency about what we're offering. Like, we're all offering a vibe, and that vibe that we're offering can conjoin with others in different ways, while we're together and while we're apart. And while we're apart is our opportunity to offer a change in that frequency, a change in the dimension of what it is that we're doing. I'm talking a lot of energy, but I'm an energy worker. I pulled Belladonna today, and she's really at a gate of change. This card is absolutely beautiful. when I look at the writing in this particular deck, they're really talking about gateways and choices. And those gateways and choices, um, they're each step towards deepening a commitment or deepening a choice. And this plant has also been used in hexing, in baneful magic, and in harm. No judgment about that, right? I'm just saying that it's there. When I see this card, it is a reminder that I stand at this gateway in myself. And Belladonna teaches that I have this moment to walk deeper into the gateway of my commitments about what I'd like to see in the world by choosing to be a kinder person to myself, by not getting all tangled up in someone else's business, by listening to my body that this strong reaction is not healthy to me and I need to come back to a place where I'm not running that energy, or I have the choice to engage it, right? And do whatever I do in the engagement of that energy, looking at Belladonna and Rose, right? What are the choices here? And I'm not saying that this is a bad and good choice. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying there is a choice of deepening our relationship to love, or deepening our relationship to each other, deepening our relationship to the body, or going down a path where we're not moving through that gateway. We're moving towards spite. We're moving towards anger. We're moving towards disruption, any of those sorts of things. Again, not judging. Those can have helpful qualities to them, but it's whether we're doing it consciously or not. In my book, it's whether we're doing it consciously or not. So to go back to my story, I have every opportunity to either knee-jerk reaction to any of those things, or take a breath and draw from where I'm at as a person and really do something differently to have to choose a different response. I really believe that magic has practical applications, and I also think if you're dealing with magic, you're dealing with change. You're not just changing the world around you, you're changing yourself, because you are a person in the world and you are the lens through which this is happening. When you touch magic, it touches you. So you're also responsible for the changes in yourself. In no way am I saying, I'm going to use an old term here, that we need to be Pollyanna about anything that we're doing, nor that we can't defend ourselves when we need to defend ourselves, because I think that those are valid responses. But it all boils down to the response. Was it intended to be cruel? Was it intended to be violent for the purposes only of harm, right? Or was it in our defense? Was it in our, kind of putting ourselves back into our right livelihood, back into like the right thing that we need for ourselves, or what's really needed in this situation? You take the temperature of the world right now, and it's a hot mess. There's a lot going on right now. That's not to diminish it either. I'm using a little bit of humor, but there's a lot going on in the world right now, and we have choices to make. If the world is on fire, right, we need to be more mindful about how we're using that fire with each other, and maybe choose water as an answer, maybe choose heart as an answer, maybe choose understanding, taking a breath as an answer. My activity that I like to be mindful of, and I think this week it is important, is to remember kindness to the self, because we can all be that man who's angry and set off and just waiting for something to trigger as we walk down the street. We are responsible for those emotions, and we are responsible for those actions, because those triggers, no matter where they come from, we're the one that's handling them, and so it is our responsibility. It's not about blaming other people. However valid that may be, in the end, if we want to change that frequency, it's up to us. So we're responsible for that thing. And I'm reminded when I look at Gateway, and when I look at love, when I look at those cards, I am reminded that in that responsibility, I have the choice to do certain things. And the easiest way to bring ourselves back, that I find, that I work, is to refocus on my body, is to refocus on my body through my breath, is to refocus on my body and my breath in this moment. So I will start to breathe in, and I will just focus on the breath. I might choose a 4 square breathing, where I'm breathing in 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, pausing for 4, breathing in for 4, or some number of that. Just to sort of reset myself, that no matter what's happening in my head, that I can recenter on my body through my breath. This attention to my body and my breath is a kindness to myself. When we have so much of this social media that takes our attention away from this, our bodies, bringing our attention back to our physical form, to our breath, to our pulse, to this loveliness, right, is a kindness to yourself. That's love. Attention is love in that way. That's that rose principle in the deck, in this oracle, for me, for you, this week. It also resets some of where we have scattered our awareness around. It brings us back to this present moment. Now you can add metta to that, you can add loving kindness to that, you could add a different kind of breath work to that, you can move into yoga, you can go into Tai Chi, Qigong, whatever it is that you do, but it's the act of resetting ourselves. This practice, when we do it, when we, we have this breath practice, 2 are my favorites. If you really want to go to a teacher that's, in the sort of Buddhist canon of things or mindfulness canon of things, I love Thich Nhat Hanh, I love Jack Kornfield, I love Sharon Salzberg. I'm not exactly a Dharma pagan, right? But I do have multiple practices. I go to multiple sources to help me find my best center in the world. I love their breath practices. But they will teach you that this awareness is a kindness, that this awareness is a way for us to come back to ourselves and to be more present in our world. That presence in the world prevents us to be running on these programs of anger or what happened yesterday or what happened last week, right? As a witch in the world, as a pagan, I don't need those programs running either. I don't need that back volume of something that happened 3 days ago with a family member or a friend or an interaction I had with someone still playing out in my head and, causing me to act from that place, right? If I'm not here, I'm not being my best self, I'm not being my authentic self if I'm pissed off about something that happened 3 days ago and acting out on it today. It's just something to think about this week. I'm going to keep focusing on nature. I'm going to find a place to go. I can in Los Angeles. It's nice and cool and cloudy here today. I'm going to do a little yoga after this. I'm going to continue to enjoy my coffee. I'm going to focus on my breath. And I'm going to choose that as my subscription for the week. These are my energies of now. That's my offering. That's my service. To be in service to you through the breath, through the body, through nature, through beauty. And ask yourself, how are these deepening those gateways for you? And where are they leading you? This is Scott Smith. You can find me in the notes. I have my websites and things listed. I really appreciate you subscribing to this channel. Apparently I can go live when I get 50 people, and we're almost there. I don't know where these are going, but I'm liking them. I just like sitting here and doing this, and maybe we can do this live someday. So yeah, have a beautiful week. Stay safe, be kind, focus on your breath. Remember, attention to yourself is loving kindness. Blessed be.